Hey guys!
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Between Two Nerds. Today we have a very, very special guest, Josh Mattingly, aka INDIESTATIK, aka that's all the names, I think.
You're on the forefront of indie game news.
Yes.
If you looked up indie games in a dictionary, you'd find Josh's face.
You'd find my face.
In an Instagram filter, but you'd find his face.
Yes.
So
Yes.
The Matt Lauer of the indie gaming scene.
the Matt Lauer of the indie.
We couldn't go with a better host.
I don't know. I just watched the Michael
We
J. Fox
watched
show.
yeah, and Matt Lauer was in
so
it.
Matt Lauer's in it. That's the only journalist I know. What's
Would
the
you
other?
like to be Anderson Cooper?
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, that.
He's hot.
Yeah.
He's super hot. No, the micro, because I'm manly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I don't know.
Sure. So, all right, what's going on, man? Let's.
You got
something big
some
right
things.
now.
You got some things. So
I do.
what's up?
I've got some things. The first and biggest thing is we have launched a Kickstarter. We are in full swing with that right now, and it's been going really great. We kind of like.
Oh, and what is the Kickstarter for?
The Kickstarter is to fund INDIESTATIK, to kind of push us to the next level. So in 2011, I started the channel, and then last November, we started the website. And it started picking up steam and doing pretty well. And then we got to a point where, we're paying writers and the site's growing, so we need to continue to do that. And in order to get to a point where the ad dollars are coming in, I mean, yes, it's a business, so like I know ads are like, no, don't talk about ads, but I mean, it's necessary evil, especially when you are an indie site like mine. Like it's got to operate. I need money. So
Indie sites selling out. Got it.
not selling out.
That's
That's the
takeaway.
title of this.
They are all game-related ads.
Yeah.
And none of them are like, you'll never see a Call of Duty ad or a GTA 5 ad, although they probably pay a lot more than the ads running on my site right now. But we're in like building phase mode, so we need to get to that point where the ads are able to self-sustain the website by paying the writers and the very low overhead that we have right now. But with the Kickstarter, we're only asking for 35 grand, and for a company that's like a very low amount of money, honestly. We're kind of kicking ass right now, and the coolest thing about the Kickstarter, in my eyes, is that we have like all custom reward tiers. So if you donate $25, you get 10 custom games that are made just for the Kickstarter. You can only get them there. There's also a soundtrack, a limited edition, original soundtrack, not limited edition, an exclusive soundtrack.
Yeah.
An exclusive wallpaper pack for your desktop computer and your PCs and your Macs. And
your device, you can.
and any device,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It comes in all different sizes. We do have a physical rewards tier, which comes with those are the limited edition prints, and there's T-shirts and all sorts of stuff. But everything is made specifically for the Kickstarter, which is cool for me because the community kind of came together to rally for INDIESTATIK, and it's a really cool feeling. I feel like now I'm to the point where I feel like I'm doing something, and I'm kind of like pushing forward a movement, right? So it feels good. And to anybody who's watched this right now, who is watching this, and who has backed, thank you so much.
Can you give like a quick rundown of your website so people know what to expect when they go there?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about everything indie related, any kind of indie game, right? So there's some people that won't touch certain genres of game,
Right.
like the radical games movement that's happening right now, which is all about like, you'll see transgendered games, and like we're a pretty big LGBT ally, and there's like games about depression and all sorts of like of the low, like the darker, I guess, side of gaming, but also like they're really fun indies and that sort of thing. So there's videos, we have a podcast, articles. We upload around 12 articles a day, which is pretty great for a site my size.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Primarily thanks to my editor-in-chief, Chris Priestman, who is a workhorse and like one of the coolest, most knowledgeable people I know about indies. But yeah, it's just kind of like we grew this community, and we talk about everything because we don't feel like there should be anybody left out of the discussion. Indie games are they're very personal to the people developing the game. So we don't want some guy that poured his heart and soul into a game to not be able to have the same opportunity to present his game that somebody like, I don't know, that game company might have. They did Flow, Flower, Journey.
They're much bigger.
Much bigger.
I mean, in the indie sense, like much bigger than some of the people out there.
Yeah, totally. And there's still the indies like that aren't quite to that level yet. I mean, we can talk about the really popular ones like Fez or Super Meat Boy. The kind of the games that I guess helped put the indie genre on the map.
Yeah.
And those guys are like Team Meat, for example, is still just Tommy and Edmund, and they have they've garnered a huge audience by themselves. But that doesn't mean that we can't talk about 2 other guys who are making games who aren't famous yet, you know? So the idea is that we're just trying to help indies any way we can by talking about them in any sense. And there's developer interviews. We're starting to flesh out some things. If we hit one of our stretch goals on the Kickstarter thing, I'll actually be touring the country, going to various indie areas or the places that have indie communities, like Austin, Texas, Toronto, all the way up the West Coast. There's a huge indie scene in San Francisco, Portland, in Vancouver, in Seattle. So I just want to like actually show people the different scenes and the atmospheres and kind of like the culture, and how that honestly like influences game development. You know, the idea I kind of stole from, I didn't kind of steal it, I directly stole the idea from
but you're admitting it now, so that makes it better, right?
Well, it's
Josh steals, that's the other headline of this.
Give me your ad money and I steal everything.
Just don't touch the infinity figures.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I'll cut you.
Whoops. Oh, jeez.
Oh, you got it on Tonto.
oh no.
Oh well.
But yeah, you know, Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations is the show that I'm kind of like biting from, I guess. And you know, he travels around and looks at food culture and how the environments influence that, and we're just doing the same thing, except how the environments influence game culture. So it's not we're going to sit down and just have interviews with people. We're going to go out, we're going to party, we're going to check out the scene, we're going to maybe drink some beers, maybe drink some beers.
I don't know if you can lower your moral compass
Yeah.
to go out and drink some beers.
Maybe go to game nights, you know, different events. I would love to plan it around certain festivals, like the Boston has a great indie games festival, and so does Austin, Texas, and there's small little splinter cells that are growing, and I think they see how well the Mega Booth did at PAX, and so they're like, well, we can probably do this too in our community. So I want to go check all those out and give those guys the exposure that they've never quite had yet. And for anybody who lives around those areas, it's like, holy shit, I didn't realize this actually existed in my neighborhood. So hopefully we can keep pushing that forward and help everybody in the indie scene.
That's one of the things I love about. I don't play a lot of indie games because my time is spent doing the games that I play. But watching you since when you started it, the indie community is so just like about helping each other. It's this crazy, weird. Like, I love what you're doing. Let's share. Let's promote each other. It's awesome to watch. And even with your like Kickstarter, how everyone's just like embraced it. I'm like, damn.
I love that. What was it? Runner 2 has all of the has a bunch of other indie characters in it too.
It's
supplied them.
Even there's like an Ouya game right now called Amazing Frog. Which
oh God, everyone's been talking about that.
Yeah, it's really wonky.
Is it like Frogger?
No. It is a launcher game.
Yeah, it's a launcher game with a frog with really terrible physics. But it's funny when you launch him in the air, he just
the fun comes with the terrible physics because it just like derps everywhere.
Yeah. So and also on Ouya is Towerfall, and that game is huge. Everybody talks about that. Matt Thorson made it a wonderful game. But in Amazing Frog, if you get launched, he'll actually, you can see, he says, Towerfall, as he's being launched around. So it's just like, it is really cool.
The little collabs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even in Super Meat Boy, you could get like,
they could get other characters too.
Yeah. And then after.
You can get the runner in that one.
Yeah. And there's packs. I think, Edmund was working on some other packs. The Basement Collection was one that you could go back and like replay games with certain cool new features that he added. So yeah, it is very collaborative. And I think that people are starting to realize that, especially the guys that leave AAA developers or AAA publishers or whatever and go to an indie, like they want to do their own thing. It's kind of like strength in numbers. I mean, they can do their own thing if they want, but if they collab with people and help each other out, it is like a really cool community. I hang out with some guys here in LA that are part of Glitch City, and it's like 11 developers, I think, and artists and programmers that they all work on stuff together. And they have a game night every other Wednesday that I go to, and it's just like, you walk in and everyone is so cool, so nice, talking about their stuff. They're demoing their games. You don't get that anywhere else. You don't. Cool. You can't just go into.
It's like Cheers, but with video games.
Yeah, yeah. And there's actually beer there too. So it's a lot like Cheers. Yeah. A mailman who's always drunk and pissed off about his route. It's really good stuff. Yeah. So that's my world. That's the
very nice.
That's sweet. Okay, so you got your Kickstarter, and you're working on the show.
INDIESTATIK.com.
Good. What Real quick, if you are watching this on Saturday, the day it got uploaded, there is a live stream. You're doing a live stream.
It should be. Yeah. Watch this first because I think it's. What time does it start?
10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll go until 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So after
it's an 8-hour live stream.
So yeah, go ahead over
after
there.
You're done watching this and commenting and thumbs up and subscribing, then go over to Polaris's Twitch and.
I think it'll be on their YouTube channel as well. And
okay, it's going to do the dual stream.
Yeah.
Cool.
So go over there. Yeah, we're having, it's going to be me and Jesse Cox. We do a show called The Green Light, which actually, that's another thing to talk about. You know, Green Light, I don't think a lot of people love. Like, a lot of developers don't love it because it still is very much a popularity contest. And I don't think they've figured out exactly how to streamline, I guess, the process. So then a couple guys like me and Jesse Cox come along and we take games that are trying to get on Steam and we play them and we give them this huge platform and they see these huge spikes in their greenlight numbers and their upvotes, and then it's kind of like, we kind of broke the system because now we're helping games. I mean, people have gone from like below 100 up to like number 3 just because we were like, hey, we want, but for me it's really cool to be able to push people up that high. But so Jesse and I are doing, it's basically going to be a live version of the Greenlight show. And we have developers coming in. We've got a bunch of YouTubers. Gerard, the Completionist, will be there. Hot Pepper Gaming will be there. The Warp Zone guys.
We're going to be there.
So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and you guys should check it out. We're going to play a game later in the hour or in the stream called Poo Koozie.
Oh yes.
Where you have to. It's a 4-person game where you sit around and you have to poop in a jacuzzi. And then blame it on your friends.
It'll be Jesse. every time it'll be Jesse.
We're gonna blame it on Jesse every
time.
Because
we played the real world version of that game with him, and
he lost.
Yeah, he's got very
noticeable
distinct
lift. You can tell when he's pinching one off.
You can, yeah. And I don't know if we're gonna have the butt pads or not. I really hope we do, but they're modified Atari 2600 joysticks that you actually have to like lift your butt cheek up to poop
to get it to work.
So it's everybody kind of like trying to get a turd out, and you don't want to get caught. Which is really hard when you're doing it live with other people on a butt pad.
I cannot wait to play this.
Yeah,
it'll be fun. Sweet.
So yeah, check it out.
So yeah, let's head into the news for the week. We got some pretty cool stuff happening.
Yeah. Well, first up, the Shield pilot.
It finally came out.
It premiered.
Coulson lived.
Yeah.
That.
And it got 11.9 million viewers, which I guess is the
highest for
largest
a network drama.
It's like in 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are big numbers.
Yeah. So. We won't spoil it. I watched it. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. I just love Joss Whedon.
Yeah, he was great.
Humor, and it's definitely in there. And then Clark Gregg, Coulson is like the best character that was created. He's like the Harley Quinn for the Marvel universe, where he was invented outside of the comics.
But now he's been implemented into everything because he's
so good, and now he's in the comics too. So I don't know. Did you watch it? Did you catch it?
I didn't. I don't have cable TV, so.
Oh my God.
Put up those rabbit ears.
I know. Well, I probably could have done that. Yeah. But. I don't think you can plug rabbit ears into a flat screen HD TV, can you? I don't know.
You can plug anything into anything.
You're a technologically savvy person. I think you can find a way of downloading the episode.
I probably could.
Or legally streaming on Hulu.
Oh, man, it's 2013. Yeah. If I don't watch it live, I can't see it.
Yeah.
Although I did love their advertisements, which is probably what helped. They're like, don't look out for spoilers. You need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. live on Tuesday. They kept like pushing that. That's like their new marketing, which I think is interesting because everyone's watching online now. Now you have to, instead of just saying watch the show, you have to be. By the way, watch the show live because it's so much better for you. It's better for us. We get more ads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. Because now it's like how do you combat against the internet?
Yeah.
How do you? Because sorry, cable TV networks, you're probably going to go to the way of the dodo if you don't actually try to get on board with what's going on online.
Yeah.
Or just make more Breaking Bad. Apparently that's a thing.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Well, or just make more Shield because
or make more Shield. Yeah.
More Breaking Bad. They're not rebooting Breaking Bad already.
That would be hilarious. They're like, well, we were talking about.
They're going to do a gritty reboot of Breaking Bad.
It's just,
we want to update him for the 2014.
It's ass cancer.
Yeah. You thought whatever cancer he had before.
Lung cancer.
I'm the only person, sorry guys, of the works that hasn't watched. I'm gonna watch it eventually. Right after I watch The Wire.
I've only gotten through season 1 of Breaking Bad.
I've seen one episode of it. It was the second episode because Shorter was watching it, and I was like, "This is really good." I will eventually watch it.
Oh, I mean, the pilot episode's great. Episode 2
was amazing. Yeah,
was really good. Well, I think that's the one where the bathtub thing happened in episode 2, and it's like, oh, this is disgusting and amazing, and I love this. And I don't know. It's hard to consume hour-long shows in a marathon.
Yeah. That's what I've had issues with.
Fish doesn't think so.
It's an hour. Well, it's hour-long.
Fish thinks you can just sit down and spend
power through
days upon days.
We can power through Arrested Development like super fast because half-hour shows. It feels you can fit 3 in an hour.
Right. Exactly. 22 minutes.
Yeah. Well, these are hour long without commercial, right? Like, so it's just a.
No, it has commercials.
Oh, okay.
It's not
it's not an HBO.
No, it's not HBO.
AMC.
Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I do want to get through it all, and I know that is it this Sunday?
This is the finale.
The finale. Yeah. And here in sunny Los Angeles, they're doing the finale, the series finale,
like a big party.
At the Hollywood Cemetery, which is like a crazy huge thing.
That's awesome.
I'm assuming that everybody, they're gonna be there.
Everyone behind the camera is like, oh fuck.
And but I don't know if tickets are still available. They probably sold out.
Oh
quick.
god.
God! They probably sold out when the season premiere started. Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about the cemetery
you
is
can
when
just
they show movies
hide in the cemetery.
Just get there early.
Just get there really early and just like
you're
cry
undercover
over.
as like
you guys
a
like cry
bereaving-
over a gravestone for a few hours, and then when the thing starts, you just like run over.
Yeah.
That's just
I'm sure the cast will be there too. That's the cool thing. I mean, they do that a lot.
No,
so.
it's supposed to be huge.
Yeah. I love LA.
Just
for those.
But anyway, back to Shield. Shield was
Shield.
A really good. It was it had a lot of Joss Whedon isms.
Yeah.
Like good dialogue and stuff. I thought it was a little bit safe, but I think they'll like.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big criticisms online is that it's like TV PG and
I don't mind like lack of like brutal violence, but I mean it had like some good violence here and there.
Well, I mean, it had the fight scene in the beginning where they introduced Agent Ward.
Like Jason
was
Bourne.
It was like Jason Bourne, and it was intense and it was awesome. And I'm like,
it was
that's
a great
cool.
scene.
And they didn't shy away from super strength stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they even like brought in like morality into the first
issue.
I wasn't. What is it like living in a world where there are superheroes and you were just an average Joe?
No, it wasn't like. Yeah.
I'm
not talking about that it's like tame, like it's like a kid's thing. I thought it was like it fits well in the Marvel universe. I just thought that because it was a pilot, it's a lot of
stuff to get into.
A lot of setup and stuff.
Oh, so it is.
Like
a lot of exposition. There
was a lot of exposition in the middle, but it's a pilot.
Yeah.
I would have loved it to be like a 2-hour premiere, but I can't have everything.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, I like most of the characters so far. I mean, Whedon's good at ensembles, so
he's one of the best creators.
Yeah.
And he's such an awesome dude. If you like his YouTube channel, he's super hilarious and he jokes a lot. And you know what you're expecting with Joss Whedon, and I think obviously, the dude's been around for so long. He's earned his stripes.
I was reading an interview recently, and I thought it was funny because they're like, "Oh, what do you have? What recommendations do you have for like showrunners?" He's like, "Don't work at Fox." That was the first. I'm like, shots fired. Like, because he's never gonna work at Fox again.
No, he's too big now. He can say whatever he wants.
His career is set for the next decade.
Oh yeah,
doing Marvel stuff.
Right.
So
yeah,
like he's never going back there. So you can just like, yeah, fuck you, Fox.
Yeah.
You canceled Firefly.
Well, I don't know that Fox has the best reputation
for keeping shows
anyways.
alive.
Right, exactly. I mean, Family Guy, Futurama.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Many. Insert your favorite show here, and Fox probably.
It was a network built on Cops. Like Cops was the thing that put the Fox network on the map.
Cops and The Simpsons.
Come on, and The Simpsons aren't going to go anywhere because Fox will never let that happen.
No.
They'll just keep going on forever. Anyways, and then hot on the I think like what they announced it like
after
was like the premiere.
Night. Like I remember going on IGN like right after the premiere, and it was like. They announced Warner Brothers announced Gotham, the show. So it's going to be
Commissioner Gordon.
Gordon show.
Well, before he's commissioner in his like young days.
It made me very excited about all of that. Except then they added the little byline of Batman will never be in the show, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
so you're making a police procedural now.
Is it on the same network?
It's going to be on Fox, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be canceled.
Then don't even
bother.
lock in.
No, because they didn't want to put it on CW because they think it's going to be big enough to be on like a real network. Sorry, CW. We love Arrow, but watch the crap out of Arrow. So
yeah. Well, and Smallville forever.
Oh yeah,
you're a small boy or a small boy.
He's a small boy. He's a small boy.
I proudly display my because I have like all of the individual seasons.
Yeah. It's been
I
like
then
a lot
also
of
went
our
out and
videos.
bought the entire you could buy the series set.
Yeah.
And that is
that's on our
proudly seen on
fireplace.
our mantle next to
I've been to
Captain
your
America.
house.
You can see it in this week's sketch. If you look
So
hard.
good.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when I heard about that, Commissioner Gordon having his own show, I thought of Half-Life Blue Shift, right? Like Barney gets his own game, and now Commissioner Gordon gets his own show. But yeah, I think it is very much going to be a police procedural.
Here's the issue with that. They have a police procedural in comic book form. It was called Gotham PD.
Okay.
And it was a it was like a very much a procedural, just like them being in Gotham. But the advantage that had is like them, taking on all these villains and stuff. It still had the eminent, like, maybe not threat, but it was always known that Batman was watching in the shadows, and
No, and they say
at any moment Batman could come in and like.
Well, yeah, and I haven't actually read, but I've heard a lot about it. And then he I guess shows up from time to time, but they do it in like a very, he's just there.
He's just there.
You don't ever
you
they
might not
don't
like
focus
even
on
have
him.
lines or anything. Yeah, and that is how the show should be.
Yeah.
But they made it very clear that he's not.
They made it very clear that Batman's
appearance.
not, and so they're gonna, mess up all the continuity.
Did they
They
say-
said they're gonna have Batman villains,
Yeah, that was the thing. Is that,
but not.
before Batman, because Batman sort of is the cause, or he him. He
Yeah.
brings
Like this is
out
in their.
that.
This
so
is
it's
in, they just had movies about this where they're like, oh, Batman shows up and now crazier people show up like the Joker. And
Yeah.
You just did this, WB. You
It's
should know how. It's just
before him though. You have the Falcone crime family and Sal Maroni, a lot of Onis.
Yeah.
All the it's basically just mob people and crooked cops. Before I don't think there's
and there's also the fact
villain
that
before Batman, a super
before
villain
like
him.
also a show without Batman at the beginning means that Gotham will never be like a redeemed city. There's no chance that anything will ever get better.
It's always just
you
going
have
to live
to
in peril.
because you have to wait for Batman to show up. So
Because it gets worse, and then
I like there was one theory online that there's going to be Bruce Wayne in it, and he's just going to be fighting in a hockey mask until like the last episode when they Smallville it and put a CG batsuit on him, and Davis gets disappointed.
Look, I love that show. We're not talking about the fact they had to drag out him not being Superman. Okay,
Oh yeah, he was in the black trench coat, and
we're
then
gonna look. There'll be another.
the Superboy.
There's another time.
Okay.
Another place to have a Smallville discussion.
Why wouldn't they put that's a huge
because
dangle the
WB
carrot like that.
WB has had a no Batman rule,
But
forever.
But before it was because of
No.
or at least what I've read, it was no one just did not want that happening. There's no reason, and people want it. When people want something and you have it, and you could make money off it, why not?
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
It's
really,
like-
and as you said, he doesn't even have to just talk.
Doesn't have to-
just have him
You just need
have
a
him
chin.
Batmaning
You
out
need
of
a
a room.
chin, yeah.
Just give me little teases, and that's all I need.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's so weird to me because Marvel made the early mistake of selling off a bunch of their IPs to different movies. That's why we're probably never gonna have Spider-Man and Avengers
Or
and
X-Men.
or X-Men crossover,
Yeah,
which I'm
'cause
okay with because their universes don't really sync up in the comics anyway.
Yeah.
But DC is completely owned by Warner. They have access to every single one of their superheroes, from Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman to
The Crimson Avenger.
Crimson. Nice, very nice.
You
And
guys'
they
comic
don't
book knowledge is
and they
way
don't
better
utilize
than
it. They don't utilize it at all. They now they're doing a crossover with the Flash this year.
Yeah, and when we go on talking of Arrow, this is why I do have hope, because Arrow started off as a very grounded. Have you watched Arrow at all?
I haven't.
It's
Again,
it's sort of like
cable.
Batman Begins of Green Arrow.
Yeah.
And it was very grounded and real, and they said they wanted to keep it no superpowers, all this other stuff.
And then it got really popular.
and then it did well,
And
and
they're
so
like-
now in this season,
They're like
is it Barry?
Barry Allen.
Yeah,
they're
Barry
like,
Allen.
We're
it's not
gonna
Wally. It's the Barry Flash.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a 3-episode arc.
Where in the end,
where
he's
he
gonna
gets his
turn
powers,
into
and
the
that works
Flash.
as a backdoor pilot
for
Flash
spin-off
TV
into
show.
a
Yeah.
So I'm they wanted it to be very realistic and grounded, and then producer stepped in, and so now I'm hopefully with Gotham, by season 2 they'll be okay, Batman will be in it. It's basically.
But then do they give Batman his own TV show at that point?
I don't.
You can't do
I don't
that
know.
because
I
that'll
don't
just
think so.
crush the Commissioner Gordon show.
That's a good point.
I would have it sync up.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what? We're not there yet. We're not
We're not-
yet ready.
we
don't
don't even
have.
know.
It's not ready
we
for
don't have the
conspiracy
production
theories yet.
budget to do
To
the
know
live
what
action.
they would do.
Give
the
it
only
5 years.
The only thing that only other news about that is that they skipped the pilot phase. They're just making.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Because they're like, oh, Shield did well. skipping the pilot phase. We're making a whole season.
Yeah, they've already ordered an entire season without going to pilot. So.
Without even casting anyone. Like they don't. It could be terrible. Yeah. But whatever.
Oh,
Joshua Jackson for Commissioner Gordon. Or Lieutenant Gordon.
Or Detective Gordon. We'll see how low it goes.
Oh, I guess, I don't know the ranks.
Cadet Gordon.
Yeah. He's like,
Civilian Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's in the
high school was great. Time to go to college.
No, don't go to college. Here's a pamphlet for the police academy.
Yeah.
Ooh, police academy. I hope we have lots of fun antics.
Sorry, political science major. I'm going to do this. Ooh, criminology. Just like that CSI show. Smash cut 2. Divorced.
Aww.
Daughter got shot and is paralyzed. Should have gone with.
And his mustache
science.
just turns gray right in front of you.
That's the transformation. All right.
But yeah, no, I love Gordon as a character, so I'm great. And then also just today, because it's Friday, but it goes up Saturday.
Yeah.
They just announced that there might be, or there is going to be, Constantine
TV show.
Oh wow.
TV show, which is cool.
Which a lot of people said Constantine would work as a TV show.
They've already
I
think they've already done it in the form of. And granted, I haven't read a lot of. I've read like some Justice League Dark, which he's a character in.
Yeah.
And I actually love the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, which I know he's blonde and British, not Keanu Reeves, but I loved that. And I just love the idea of like sort of a supernatural detective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So
it
could
definitely
be
has
cool
a good
like
setup.
supernatural, like the show. But just,
There's actually a friend of mine is in a show right now called Ghost Girls, which is produced, I think, partly by Jack Black, but it's
sounds ridiculous.
It's a comedy.
Okay,
it's
good.
a comedy.
Ghost Girls,
and it's 2 girls they're supernatural detectives, and it's actually pretty hilarious. It's like, I don't know, check it out if you guys want. Ghost Girls.
Their bodies might be
I think it's a Yahoo online.
Oh, it's one of the Yahoo series.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually really good. It's doing really, really well.
Yahoo's been really turning out some good stuff.
Amanda Lund and Maria Blasucci are they're improv friends of mine, but they pitched a show and it got picked up, so they're doing really well.
Nice.
Happy for those 2, yeah.
Cool. All right, well, that sounds like it's about it for the TV news. Let's go into we
gotta talk about.
We have the Steam
talk
announcements that we have to follow up. Okay, so
like we said last week.
Yeah, they said last week that they were going to do 3 announcements.
Jesse believed that the announcements were going to be the SteamBox was going to be revealed, and it was going to be literally a box of Steam that you open up and it burns your face.
Wrong. Jesse, you're wrong.
Put up the graphic.
Yeah.
It's going to be in Microsoft Paint. It's going to look beautiful.
His other thing was he thought it was going to be what, like an iOS?
The SteamOS was not going to be a SteamOS. It was going to be an iOS
app.
And it was going to be an endless runner starring Alex Vance.
Yeah.
Again, wrong.
Wrong.
Jesse,
did he make
wrong.
a third prediction?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember.
He's like, you know what? There are 2. Cool. So Jesse, you're wrong. I love you, but you're wrong.
Yep.
What we actually got was so Monday.
I got 2 out of 3. Just by comparison.
So Monday they just announced
the SteamOS.
The SteamOS, which is runs off Linux, which I guess isn't that what you said?
That's what. Yep.
And it's gonna be free, which is really cool. I've never worked with Linux, but I know it's supposed to be.
But it's gonna be very much streamlined because it is made for the Steam machine. That's what the SteamBox is called.
And for gaming specifically.
Yeah, and for gaming. So not only is it the software is gonna be streamlined, also it makes it's the advantage it has with hardware because it's optimized to run your video cards at the best settings and everything at the best settings. It's gonna make less powerful machines look a lot better because of the better OS.
Yeah.
Because that's something I love about the PC Master Race is that they talk about their high specs and but you're running Windows 8 on there and that's taking up a fuck ton of your RAM. So
still looks better.
It does look. It looks great. I love that.
We can all just live and let live. We're not having the PC Master Race console debate.
No, we're not. But I'm saying that they're wasting their specs. They're wasting their specs on the OS and. In this SteamOS, it'll be optimized for gaming. You don't have any of that other crap. You're going to be able to run your games extremely well.
Yeah,
which is probably better.
If you were to make an OS about Steam, of course you're going to make it about the games.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. So
it's how can Valve put as many games on the platform to make as much money for Valve as possible.
Yeah.
And if you optimize it for developers and for gamers, it's kind of awesome. It's kind of like Ouya on steroids.
That's actually a good way to put it because because it's basically the Steam platform, but it's a supercharged Steam platform.
Yeah. It's the Steam machine.
It is
with
the Steam
better
machine.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more games.
Well, they also announced some features which I wrote down. And I'll read them to you. So some of the features of the SteamOS is that it will have in-home streaming, and that's a big thing they've been pushing is just like having your computer just stream to your TV, so like that'll be your whatever, and you play on that. That's cool. Family sharing, so you can have one account but multiple like sub accounts.
What?
Well, so like you can.
You mean that thing that Microsoft was gonna do that everyone was mad at?
Yeah.
I think so. We're gonna have to sign into the SteamBox once a day. Is that what
but it's
you're
also
saying?
just like you can then also have all of your own individual achievements instead of just being account wide. You can be like sub account.
Has Steam done that already? I thought they rolled that out already.
Did they?
They did recently,
I think
yes.
so. But but for the box will be great.
But yeah, it'll be because it's in the living room, so anyone can just walk in and sign in.
They do also. They're gonna have media services, so you're gonna be able to like do music and video and photos and access all that.
It's awesome.
And then the fourth one they mentioned was like just parental control, I guess.
Oh boy.
Well, I guess with like a computer, it's a lot more open. It's like
Steam
harder to like
I
put a.
I actually don't know if Steam has.
I don't know. I
never
never do.
I've never
I'm not a parent.
Yeah. So I never have to look at those things.
Yeah, so I don't worry about that, but I'm sure, actually, though, I'm sure that's helpful for, like, a lot of people.
Yeah, no, for sure. So then, Announcement 2.
Yeah, so Announcement 2, that was on Monday. Wednesday, they announced just that they would...
The SteamBox. They announced
that they actually are doing
the
one.
Steam machine.
Yeah. Which I think sounds way cooler.
I like it because it rhymes. It makes me think of the Green Machine, though. So I kind of think of a tricycle whenever they say that.
Yeah.
I imagine Gabe Newell just like riding around in that. It's the Green Machine, but it's black, and it's like it's the Steam Machine.
I think of like a steampunk thing, like a steam machine. I think of like, we're gonna go to Laputa. It's the castle in the sky.
Gears and pipes are optional.
Yeah. You actually run it off of Steam.
It has like weird just gauges that go up and down.
Yeah, there's just like a thing that goes around in circles on the top.
I would love it if it like all the temperature and every other thing you can get, like actually it's like a physical dial that turns up.
That'd be great.
But so there's no pictures of the hardware. They're just like, hey,
they had, like, some
we're
mock-ups.
making hardware. Yeah, and they said that this year they're going to be entering a beta phase. They only have 300 beta slots, like machines are going to send out. So chances are no one that we know is going to get one.
But that doesn't mean we're not going to try. We're not going to try. We're going to try.
They did put a little thing in there. It was cute. They're like, in their Q&A, it was like, so should I make a bunch of extra accounts to increase my chances of getting this into the Steam beta? And they're like, no, that won't work. They didn't say how it won't work. I think they're just like, it'll probably work, but if they figure if they just say that, a lot of people will just like accept that at face value and not make extra accounts. But
yeah.
The other big takeaway I think from the Steam Machine announcement is that they announced multiple options. Like there's going to be, like from the graphic they showed six.
Yeah, the weird thing
boxes.
is they kind of already announced this like at E3 when they showed like
but
all
I
the other stuff.
think they're talking about their first party. They're gonna have multiple SKUs of their first party boxes.
Oh,
see, I'm not talking about third party. They can now make whatever they want. Their the OS is free, so any manufacturer can just be like, well, here's our little box and it has the SteamOS on it. You know? But I'm talking about the official ones. They're gonna have multiple options. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah. Well, and they said next year you're gonna start seeing the first wave of SteamOS powered machines, and they're going to be like fully.
I'm really hoping that there's like $100 option because I think if they had, it's a stretch, but it would look really good on them.
And it would, it would have to. It would be like a very. They would even say like this can run a very limited, or I mean it's computer.
I mean it's $100 thing. It could probably run most of Source games, especially again if it's an optimized system. You can.
Well, and aren't they working with NVIDIA or somebody who just made that new thing that like looks at what game you want to play and your settings and like tries to really optimize for performance and stuff, which is what you can do on your own, but it would help like for people that aren't used to the freedom of PC like settings to just like, okay, I wanted this to play well, but I don't know how to do it. Boom, it automatically is like, okay, this is how you get it at 30, 60 frames a second, whatever you want, and it just auto adjusts it for you. So but yeah, they said they're fully like you can put any other OS you want on these things. They're very like hacker friendly. They're very like jailbreak friendly. Yeah. Which I think is sort of the Linux motto. Is like everybody come like it's a sandbox. Just come in and like do what you want. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a really smart move on them too because how do you in a world these days where anybody can pirate anything, whatever they want on PC, just it's like, if you can't beat them, join them and just give them a thing like, hey, you don't even have to go anywhere else. Just hack our thing and create stuff for this and let users and developers and players all just evolve this thing together.
Yeah.
I think is really cool.
Yeah, the Steam Workshop, they've even like come on record as they're like, this is amazing. The people make way more high quality content. It would take us like so long. I think it was like Team Fortress 2 or one of those about how like it's like they were just blown away by the user generated content. So they're like, there's clearly
more of that.
Clearly, there's like a group of people that want to do this. Here you go, do it.
Yeah.
And and then you can with Steam Workshop it integrates like pretty nicely into
a lot of
thing.
games.
You don't have to go out of your way. So that's cool. And then the final announcement.
This one
Today, I was a little bit. It's only because I really thought they were going to save. I know they weren't going to do Half-Life 3.
but we really wanted
But
it. It was my long shot prediction.
And then IGN did a top 25 PC games of the last decade.
I don't think they're ever going to put out Half-Life 3. I think they're just going to keep. They're just never going to put it out, and everyone's going to conspire, and everyone's going to talk about it, and they're just going to be like, hey, here's a new thing. Look at this. Like, hey, keys, bells, shiny things over here. And you're like, where is Half-Life 3? I don't care. I'm going to buy this anyways. Like, I don't think they're ever going to put it out. That's what I think.
I want it to be out. Anyway, so the third thing they announced is the controller for the SteamBox.
And the controller looks not like a controller.
Yeah, through the powers of editing, here's what it looks like.
Bloop.
And so there's two. I'm split in two ways. First, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, what is this? It looks more like a speaker or a sex toy than a controller. It has no thumbsticks. It has like
It has trackpads.
Like pads, and it's a lot of like touch controls and a lot of other stuff.
There's no face. The face buttons are now in the middle, like where on a regular controller, like the home button would be. So you have 4 face buttons there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
How am I going to hit those on
and
any other?
There's 16 buttons total.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot. There's a lot down on the
half
fingers.
of which you're supposed to be able to touch without moving your thumbstick. So
yeah, because there's going to be a lot on the fingers, like those Pro controllers.
Yeah.
But,
so there's like looking. My first reaction of looking, and I think we all had the same reaction of looking at it. Was like, what? And then there's the other part of me that just trusts Valve and is like, I love you. You were like my god, and you've not let me down since early Steam. But that was kinks you're working out.
Yeah.
And then I was reading the article and. They say it's designed to bring the most, I guess the way they have it, it's like a high-resolution trackpad where it's supposed
to be very accurate.
It's supposed to be like the closest thing you can get to PC level, like mouse and keyboard level with some controls.
And I think it's going to be great for Steam games. I think it's going to be great for everything that they make. I do not think it's going to be...
Well, yeah, you can also just
good for... I mean, that is the plus, that you can plug in any controller because it's, again, a PC. And, but I don't see it being like... playing Arkham on it, I don't really see that working.
No, but I mean, like even because I play Arkham on the computer.
Yeah.
I just plug in my Xbox controller for that.
But I mean,
it would be nice to have that.
It would be nice for it to work for everything. I don't see it working for things aside from shooters.
Yeah, and they say the buttons because they're all weirdly they're supposed to be like ergonomically placed based on priority of usage or something. Like it's supposed to be very ergonomically designed.
Yeah.
It looks weird to me.
I always get a little weary about things like this because what happens if it breaks? Like, it's a lot of technology, and it's not just like a controller where you could potentially swap out a thumbstick or a button or whatever, or just buy a new controller. How much is it going to cost if you have to buy another one?
This controller looks expensive.
It does.
It has a screen in the middle that displays what buttons like.
It's got that Razer.
That Razer, yeah.
And with 2 trackpads.
And I'm like, that Razer keyboard was $300 for that little trackpad. So I'm like. That's into the controller. That's gonna add some bucks to it.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. It could be. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And just because I'm kind of frugal, right, and also like broke most of the time, so it's like if I want to participate in this cool new thing, I mean, sometimes money will dissuade me from purchasing it, or like the idea of it being expensive if it does break.
The idea of spending like $100 on a controller.
Yeah. Like, you know what?
Dissuade a lot of people.
Yeah, if somebody wants to go buy like a cool new controller, like a MLG, that Mad Catz controller, like great, good for them. I'm happy with the Xbox controller that the Xbox comes with,
But that's to defend their point, you can use a mouse and keyboard with it. You can use any controller.
Yeah,
this is supposed to be. This also follows the controller's even hackable. They said like do whatever you want with it. Have fun with it. So this is just their option.
It is good. It's their thing. I kind of expected that to be maybe wrapped into the Steam machine. I feel like it's a waste of an announcement.
I think a lot of us. I think and that's why I'm a little bit disappointed. Is that I thought the third one would be a big one. It's just
something
like
about
controller.
Yeah.
So, but if it is as good as they're claiming. Because you know me, like I am just in my room on my computer when I game because I don't like the controls.
But would you switch to? I don't think you'd switch to a controller.
If it's as good as they say, if it feels like, and I can be as accurate, and because the big problem is when I try to play like shooters on a console, I'm like I could do this so much better with a mouse and keyboard. If I can be close enough, I don't have that feeling. Also, it says I can use a mouse and keyboard, so I just get a wireless mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. Well, I have this thing for like shooters specifically. If you're playing a shooter and you've got to move or turn very quickly, you go sideways with your mouse. Are you doing that with this little trackpad?
You just have to flick.
Just keep flicking. Oh, I don't think I'd like that at all. Personally, it'd just be really like, I don't know.
That's what I'm imagining. If it's a trackpad, how else would it be?
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I actually don't. I don't know. We're gonna have to.
I'm not trying to poke holes in this controller. It looks cool, but I don't know.
It looks different. I'm still gonna reserve a lot.
Looks
of
like a
judgment
spaceship.
on that.
I mean, I'll probably just continue to use mouse and keyboard, and then use like the
other
Xbox,
games.
the
use
Xbox One
controllers.
when that gets support. I would love it if they got support to the PS4 controller. I love that thing. I played Tiny Brains at PAX. First of all, amazing game, but also the controller feels great. So if there's
PS4
can you mod that
controller is gonna be amazing.
People have already made
PS3 controllers you can plug in.
I'll just go online and figure that out.
Involved having to have the USB plugged in. So.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, and then the last little bit of news, which is only news because I'm excited for it. Toon Link he's back for the new Smash Bros. And
yay!
Toon Link is one of my favorite characters from the Smash Bros. Games, and also it's based off of Wind Waker, which is my favorite Zelda game, which I am in the middle of playing through on the Wii U, and it's better than I remember. And my God, it looks so good. Go buy it. It is worth buying a Wii U. I'm gonna say
you literally did buy a Wii U for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got like a Wii U.
But you bought the Zelda.
And then I bought my own one so that I could just play this, and it is fucking gorgeous. It is so good.
Yeah. It looks.
I've heard so many good things about it.
It is.
Gotta get me a Wii U, man.
It is like it's the best. It's the best Zelda game. I agree with you. I think it's the best Zelda game.
Really?
It's like super. It's weird because it's
such a hard sell to people that haven't experienced it.
Yeah, I haven't played it, so I wouldn't be able to speak
and
intelligently.
just listing off, just like listing things isn't enough because you're like, what's so good about it? Well, like the sailing mechanic is awesome. Some people don't like it, but like the graphics are gorgeous, and it's not just like that. Doesn't just like it looks good.
It's like the graphics. It says
so
a timeless
much
art style too.
It has so much personality. Every face. Link is so expressive. Like I just did the fire. The first dungeon is like the fire, the Roost Island or whatever with the dragon on top, and like the plumes of fire that come out are so intricately
They look like from
animated.
Aladdin. They look like
gorgeous.
From that. Yeah,
that's
we
pretty
see
cool.
the smoke and they do the little swirls and stuff. It's like every little detail is just amazing.
I almost just want to cry every time I play the game. I'm just like, I'm so just happy this exists that I can do this. Oh, it's so gorgeous.
And then I don't
know. And the combat is the deepest Zelda combat has ever been. There's like counters and all these different kind of slash ways.
And it's
so
before
great.
motion controls, so you don't have to.
No, but this is the motion controlling in this game is awesome because it's like the 3DS.
Oh yeah, this one has it.
I said the 3DS has the best motion controlling, and this has it too. Where like when I have the grappling hook as X, and so when you have to like grapple on things to swing, and so I'm just running, press X. I just flick because you can just control it.
Yeah.
Flick it up, press X. So much faster, and it's like seamless. And you can actually even move around in first-person mode now,
I forgot
like
about
a shooter,
that,
which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
It's just God, it's so good.
I appreciate you telling me how grappling hooks work, though.
I'm sorry to say how they work in this game. Anyways, he's back in the new game, and I'm excited for him. And
So
all right, look, that's news. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll answer some questions.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right, welcome back, guys.
Yeah.
We're here.
Time for some questions.
Some questions.
As we all sip our coffee, so we can't talk at the same time.
Fresh coffee. It's warm. I got the hazelnut creamer.
I actually like. People will get annoyed by that noise, but I know what it feels like when you drink it like that, and it's just so good, especially when it's hot too. Just like tickle, 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 tickle.
And with the hazelnut, like, ooh, it's like in my cheeks right now.
Ooh, a little flush.
All right.
All right, so we got some questions. Let's start. The first one by Tadisi. I think that's on Twitter. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Tadici? I don't know. He asks, and it's fitting because of how he went out, What character would you want in the new Smash Bros. Game if you could have one that wasn't in it?
All right.
Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I would first like Sonic back, but let's like say a new character.
Yeah.
So let's assume Sonic's gonna be back, which I don't think he's actually gonna be back.
And make him.
But also make
better.
him like not suck. Like the only thing he had was his final Smash.
Well,
so.
and he just wasn't fun to play. He wasn't fun to play. I can't really pinpoint the
exactly.
mechanics,
So what
but
I
it just
want.
wasn't fun.
So what I want is Knuckles in the game.
Oh, he's more of a brawler anyway.
Yes, he would fit a lot better because he is a brawler. He would have really strong smash moves, and his
glide
what I'm
mechanic
imagining
would
is
fit.
his glide mechanic would get you back on, and he can cling to walls, so that could be like his sort of special thing. He could cling a lot better to different sides and stuff.
And he's like the dark anti-hero. So kids love that shit.
Yeah, they do.
They eat it up like Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like old Genesis characters. And I know that's like maybe
Like
the antithesis
Ristar?
of that. Yeah.
Or we can also pick Nintendo characters. I just really want Sonic.
No, I would.
back
Yeah,
in
no,
there.
and that's like
Oh,
you know.
can we? I was like trying to think within the like Nintendo
Within
realm,
Nintendo?
but
That's
guess
what I
any-
was too. Yeah.
Sorry, I opened it up to
No, I
third
love that.
party.
No, but
Oh,
that's
if we
good.
wanted
He
to.
didn't say what
Yeah.
Nintendo character.
Toe Jam and Earl, I think would be fun. Kid Chameleon, if you
Earth-
guys played that game.
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim,
would be
holy
great.
shit, Earthworm
Vector
Jim.
Man. Anybody?
Vector
What?
Man.
Oh, dude, I
No,
think that'd be really fun. What if there was like a Nintendo versus Sega
I would
Smash Brothers?
I would love that.
I think
That would be great. I love Earthworm Jim, and I don't even remember how good or bad the games were as a kid.
The first one was amazing. Fantastic.
Like design wise, I loved his
Yeah.
character.
yeah,
and
Earthworm
I-
Jim 64, I didn't care for it.
I watched the cartoon series.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Okay, who would it like? Who really killed it for me?
Nintendogs.
The funny thing is, I already have I got Solid Snake. I don't hope he comes back. I really I love Solid Snake. I got Luigi,
And
and
you got
I got
Toon
Toon
Link,
Link,
so-
and I got my characters that from Nintendo that I love.
Bring Mewtwo
I'm
back.
trying to think. Yeah, Mewtwo. Who was it? Lucario. I just did not like Lucario. And they're adding Mega Man, who is like great. Who would I add?
You gotta pick someone.
Like
Or
Batman?
have all your dreams been
Just Batman. Put Batman in
Just
the game.
because you want Batman and
give him
fucking
the
anything.
Stealth Predator
Yeah.
gameplay from the Origins in the Arkham City series. And,
Not that we need any more of this, but Slender Man might be hilarious. Like a Slender Man.
that would be a great capsule or
His
or
final.
one of the things.
Oh yeah.
Where, like
yeah.
you get it
He's
and
an
just
assist
like
trophy.
just like three
Because
people just die.
he kind of only has one move. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's the thing where like when you get the capsule and it opens up, it's on some
Everything
sort of
gets dark.
It's a random timer, and he just
Yeah.
appears behind somebody and they die.
you
that might be kind of
you
That would
can't
be
look at
fun.
them or you have to add some the mechanic to it. That would be
that's
kinda cool.
that's very much wish list. I
Yeah.
think most of these are wish listy, but
Sure.
yeah, I can't think
and
of.
then I guess because
What
I guess
Nintendo
no
characters haven't been
here's
in?
who I want, and it's because Sony didn't take advantage of it. I want Crash Bandicoot in the game. I love Crash Bandicoot.
That would
It's
be-
a great series.
Yeah.
You could still bring it back. You could reimagine it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I miss Crash.
He
too.
also was he had so much personality. He was a great character. All the old ads with him were
Where he was in
fantastic.
the mascot suit. I love those. Yeah, yeah,
I
that'd
don't
be
know.
good. That'd be good.
That's who I want. Those are the characters I think.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I hope that answered your question, and you didn't mind we went third party.
got a lot of yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, from Martin on Twitter, he says, "Is it bad game design to make a game for one platform, knowing it would be better for another platform?"
And I think the examples he put were Grand Theft Auto 5 and The Last of Us. So
Is
I
that
think
what-
what he's saying is like these games came out at the very end of this generation with the next generation hardware already out, like
Or at least announced,
Or at least
yeah.
announced. They definitely had dev kits. Why would they put it on? Why would they put it on the current generation? And the basic answer is because money,
Yeah.
business, because
better.
Grand Theft Auto, and they've been on record saying this too,
Yeah,
is
they're not
they
hiding
put it out. They put Grand Theft Auto 5 out because this is the highest the install base will ever be for these consoles for this generation.
Yeah.
So we're gonna release it right at the end of the cycle, right before the next gens. This is when the most people are gonna have these consoles, and it's not gonna be overshadowed by the next gen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be this is like the best place we can release it, and it kind of shows because they made $1 billion in 3 days.
Yeah, no,
So,
it absolutely that did
like-
well. Last of Us sold well,
And same with Last of Us. Last of Us sold really
and
well.
that was
and
that's exclusive to PS3.
And see, that would be even harder on because it would only be on PS4. So
Yeah.
you'd have a smaller install base, and you have a smaller install base, and it would cost more. You know. So it is a money thing.
Yeah.
I predict that when they port Grand Theft Auto to PC, that we will also see next-gen versions.
Yeah.
I think that because a lot of games are doing upgrades, so I think that once the PC version comes around, they'll be like, oh, here's the enhanced Game of the Year edition on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
So
in the indie world of development, I think that people sometimes don't develop a game for multiple platforms because they can't.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, money.
Or money, yeah.
Money is a factor there.
Or if
But
Microsoft
it's like
because
a different kind.
It's a different kind of money.
One
It's
end,
like
you're
they want to
I'm gonna
make
make
the
a
most
lot of
money.
money. How can I make the most
in the
most
indie
money?
world?
Yeah.
It's like,
how can I get any money?
Yeah, how can I get any
Like,
money? Like, this costs way too much to put on a console. Like,
Yeah. Or if maybe Microsoft or Sony approaches you and says, hey, I'm Sony, and we want to put your game on PSN exclusively. Here's money. And then as an indie, you go, okay, we're with Sony now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but the flip side is some indie game, and that's why I love the magical of indies. They don't care what system's out. The guys who are making the Portal game for the DS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though didn't they make a Halo game for like the Atari 2600? Like some
Yeah,
people
they're
have
like
made
demakes,
cartridges,
Yeah, I
for
love
like
the
old
demakes,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's like they're like that's what we want to do it on, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, also not just like Grand Theft Auto 5. The ones that really, really, really made me more angry, like the Grand Theft Auto 5, were the Golden Sun game that came out right when the 3DS was coming out, as well as Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2 are another ones where I'm sure it's the exact same reason. They're like, everyone and their brother had a DS, but it would have been absolutely better on the 3DS.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good game design in that they make money, so that's part of it. So and if they're good games at the end of the day,
and they are good games. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 is amazing. Last of Us is amazing.
Yeah.
So if it's on a less powerful system, that doesn't make it a bad game.
no, it's just one of those things where it's so good that you wish
it could be even better. Like,
yeah. That's So
you're just thinking about those next gen graphics.
I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff. I'm like,
I wish that was HD.
If only we could have everything.
if only everything that I wanted to happen happened, and there were no consequences.
well, we wouldn't.
Man!
We wouldn't be here. It would just be girls with big boobs and.
And then at the end of this podcast,
it would be like, why the last man?
Yeah. And then you would just start farting, and money would come out.
Yeah.
And you would.
Yeah.
Your world would be weird.
Yeah.
And
I would
Probably really great.
Well, I would like help repopulate it, but I wouldn't have to like actually do any parenting. I would just, like, they'd be like, "Yeah, you don't support." I'm like, I'm the last guy. You can't shit talk me. I gave you that ability, so I don't want to ever see him. Don't name him anything cute or related to my family.
Speaking of all this, what's our next question?
Next question.
That went off on a tangent.
It's the truth. The final question from Wisp is: what are your feelings on gender diversity in games? Should there be more? And would you play a game with a transgender hero?
And this one was asked on Food Truck Friday, but we thought that
It was good.
It was a good question that we thought Josh would like to answer. So
Yeah.
It'd be good for you to answer. Well, let's start by it's like a 3-part question. So,
Sure.
What are your feelings on gender diversity in games?
I think it I think it should be a thing, but I don't think it's the end of the world if there's a game that comes out that has a male protagonist and a damsel in distress. I don't personally think that's terrible. I'm also not a woman. I'm also
Damn it. That makes
sorry.
a lot of things weird.
We can still try.
you never know.
I don't. I'm trying to be really careful right now how I word this. I don't need Anita Sarkeesian coming after me, who I love, by the way. But I don't feel like I don't know what it's like to be a girl playing a video game. I just don't know what it's like. So for me, I guess it's a lack of understanding. Although I try to understand as much as I can, I think that just in terms of folklore and telling stories since the beginning of time, oftentimes there has been a male protagonist and a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
So like those types of games, and honestly, that's like one specific type of game. The damsel in distress thing doesn't happen all the time. It's a very
Especially
specific.
Not nowadays.
I mean, now
Yeah.
with like open world games and all the things you can do.
Yeah.
But I think that gender diversity is important moving forward. As a progressive thinking person, I think we should have more gender diverse games.
Yeah.
as part
Good
one
answer.
of that.
Okay, well, part one was actually, what do you think of gender diversity in games?
I think it's
You
important.
answered the second part. So no. That said, should there be more? You answered the should there be more part. I'm
Oh,
saying,
okay.
what do you, like the state of today? Not like back in the day, because early
Yeah.
on it was like a lot of just damsel in distress stuff. Like today, where we are, 2013. How do you feel gender diversity is in games?
Well, in the indie world,
Yeah, it
specifically,
depends which world you're talking about.
Yeah.
'Cause, in the indie
Well,
world,
just like
it's a
in the
lot
indie world,
different
then we can go
than
with
the
the
AAAs.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in my world, I think there is enough, or not. I'm sorry, there's not enough. I think there should be more, and there is more because indies, like I said earlier, they create a game from a very personal space. So you can do whatever you want. You're not beholden to an investor who's like, you can't do this. So you can make games with all women or all guys or gay guys. I mean, or gay women. There's a lot of. There's actually a game. My boyfriend, the space. I'm drawing a blank. It's this really crazy, awesome game. It's just it's just gay. It's everything about the game it's gay protagonist, gay antagonist, gay. It's just, but it's hilariously funny. Some people don't like it because it's kind of a parody on the lifestyle or the like. Not lifestyle because it's not, I guess, a choice, but just the fact it's kind of like what's the SNL sketch, the ambiguously gay duo. It's like that level of comedy.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like I'm digging a hole right now too because
Continue.
But you liked it and you enjoyed it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
really great. So
Yeah.
so the thing about it is like talking about this stuff. How do you? I'm pro gay. I'm pro diversity in games. I'm pro women in games. I'm pro gender diversity. I'm pro all of those things. I think they all should exist, and I don't think that anybody should be afraid to make a game because they're going to segregate themselves by having a diverse, game or idea.
Okay.
I don't know if that's an actual answer.
So
I'm
condensing
trying
it to
be
the headline.
really diplomatic.
You
right
keep
now.
answering. You keep answering the should part, not the how is it. But okay, so we
How
got
is
indie,
it now?
indie
It's
games,
not
there's
enough.
more.
Okay, there's
Indie
not
games more
enough.
diversity.
Okay.
In you can tell that there's
In
not
AAA, there's
AAA
not.
because
There's
there's just like
not
a
enough.
female character in Battlefield or Call of Duty, and that's like a big thing. Like
You
okay,
can play as a female soldier now.
Yeah.
We've broken down gender barriers.
yeah,
Thanks, Call
cool.
of
We
Duty.
won that. No, yeah,
And oftentimes the women in the games in the AAA world are just either a sidekick or they're written as not quite as strong as the male lead.
Yeah.
Because I say male lead like it's a thing, but like it's a production, like a movie when they
Well,
write these.
Yeah.
and that's when I hear that in gaming, I'm like, this could also apply to many other forms of media, like
Absolutely.
especially movies, like
Especially TV.
yeah,
I mean,
television movies.
it's just like a male.
It is a male. I mean,
driven-
and that's where economically, that's where they make the most money in these
Right.
demographics. So
Yeah.
they're sticking to that. Like, should they make more? Of course they should.
As
make more,
as a
yeah.
business, they should. I personally, I will generally always make a male character, but I don't mind playing as a female character. I never minded
No.
playing like Tomb
Ken
Raiders or any of
Yeah.
that stuff. And especially like on TV, like Fringe is one of my favorite shows, and
Oh, that's a good one.
Olivia
Yeah.
was like this awesome. And they also didn't they made her a tough girl, but they didn't make her a tough girl like they do in other games where they just make like a really like a man and just put a woman in there and like
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
them really like unsympathizable or
Sympathetic.
Yeah,
There
there
we
you
go.
go. There you go. And she was just like a really great character that showed emotion when she had to, was tough when she had to, and I'm like, yeah,
I love it. Like the women in Game of Thrones are written really well.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's true,
it's like there. I think, and not to diverge the conversation from games, but like I
Well,
think
but it's media in general. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think me personally, I think there needs to be more of it. And like you said, I don't have a problem. Why would I have a problem playing a female character? If you do, then you're just like totally chauvinistic.
kind of a
I guess.
dick.
You're
Yeah.
kind of just an asshole.
well then let's
Well, that's
the
the final
third part
part
of
of the
this is like
question
is there you have a problem playing a transgender hero, and I'm like, as long as if the game
if
is
the
fun,
story's good,
who cares?
And yeah, if the story's good and works that well, not just like
Yeah. Here's the problem about that, right? If you're playing a game that has a transgendered character or a woman character or a male character, and it starts to take away from the fact of the game, and it's like, look, we're transgendered. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. Just shh, let me play this good
like,
game now.
then make
Yeah.
like a good story would have a transgendered character, and then that's not the main focus of the game.
Yeah, totally. And or if there is, I mean, I've played games that are specifically to open people's eyes to those different societal issues,
That's
and
true.
they're fun and they're fine in their own right, but you know what you're getting into right away.
That's true.
If you're trying to make a really cool game that just happens to have a transgendered protagonist, then just leave it at that. And let people be like, oh, okay, cool, this is a thing. If you have a problem with it, you're a dick. Like, you know?
Yep.
That's my thought.
There we go.
Cool. So it sounds like gender diversity, there's more now than there was, but it's still not very much.
Yep.
There should be more, and we could definitely play transgender heroes if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Not just for the sake of having one.
Yeah. Cool. Good summary.
Sweet. All right. Well, that's all the questions we have for today.
Oh, and before we go out, here's our collection of Disney Infinity characters. We mentioned in our article this week that we have them all, and we weren't.
Well, did we also mention it in the
and
podcast last week to Jesse?
Yeah. So
we have all the figures, including the special Lightning McQueen one. We don't have, and this is what really kills me, we're working on it, we don't have the Sorcerer Mickey that was a D23 exclusive Expo figure, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
There you go.
So there's our.
But
our
and it's
collection.
also our apology to Disney for digitally blowing up Disneyland.
Yeah, our sketch. We destroyed Disneyland in it, but we just want to show that we do love. We
do love
Disney.
Disney.
We do love
So
Disney.
Don't cancel our annual passes.
Yeah, before we go out. Hopefully don't. Before we go out, let's just.
Real quick.
Yeah, tell them all
your
stuff.
socials and your site.
Yeah, check out the website for sure. It's indiestatic with a K.com, not with a K. Don't spell that. It's indiestatic.com. We're doing the Kickstarter. Please back. It helps out me and the developers and the whole entire community. You can find me on YouTube as well, youtube.com/indiestatic, on Twitter, indiestatic, and Josh Mattingly, and Facebook, all the things.
Yep, we'll stick all those in the description. And
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, thank
you
you
for coming. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
You good guy.
Yeah.
All right, now
Inappropriate touch.
Now it's weird. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos we did this week if you haven't. And, we got Limbo and Power Ranger Let's Plays, which you should watch because they're great. Anyways, we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye.
But wait, there's more!
Yes, we forgot to mention, but we're telling you now. Next week we will be in Raleigh, North Carolina for the Escapist Expo.
Yeah, and we'll be actually filming our podcast on the show floor. We'll have special guest Lisa Foyles.
Woo!
Very excited. So yeah, it'll be awesome. Come say hi, everyone, and yeah.
If you're there.
If you're there. If you're not, you can say hi in
Twitter,
comments.
Facebook, comments, everything else. So we'll see you next week, guys. Warp Zone. Yeah, Warp Zone.